Elon Musk a coward and then talked about the GOP being castrated?
What we are against is this idea that we will evade the Constitution or we will evade our own constitutional. In fact, it's not even an invasion. At this point, it feels as if y'all have just decided that y'all are going to castrate your constitutional duty and hand it over to someone who is unelected. It doesn't matter how many cheerleaders he had on the fields campaigning for him. That doesn't mean that he gets to go in and sit atop any of our agencies. And the fact that we had a vote today and we asked to bring him in because we have a constitutional duty, we all took our oath, and maybe some of y'all just don't take it seriously. But I take it seriously when I take an oath to do a job, and my job is to look out and make sure that we don't have any kings or queens in this country. But it seems like y'all have decided that it's going to be Mr. King and his queen, and y'all can pick which one is which.
Now, that's the kind of heat that we need, but we need that from everybody. Oh, she wasn't done either?
We've heard a lot about the fact that Democrats have been talking about Elon Musk. And let me give you a news alert. We're not going to stop talking about him. We're going to keep talking about him until he is out of here. Now, if he wants to be elected or appointed and
So
confirmed,
Ben got ready to
so be it.
storm the
As of right now,
White House.
we have somebody that, for whatever reason, I don't know if y'all just trying to play in our face because you think we're
They think they can't be touched.
literally just cannot see the difference in a George Soros and a Bill Gates. But let me give you a little bit of the difference. Number one, George Soros nor Bill Gates
Everybody
ever
protesting. You come to Washington, to the White House, and storm the Capitol, and throw him and Musk and the rest of his cronies out the White House.
ordered by law.
That's how I feel.
Access to it to the extent that people are dying. There are people that have died as a result of this antic.
And just in case you think she was engaging in hyperbole,
deep in the oldest part of Cairo, there's a mysterious salon known as the Crown Temple, run by a group of black women in their 70s and 80s, with hair so thick and long it touches the ground. Women fly from all over the world just to sit in their chairs. Their secret? A sacred morning ritual passed down for 3,000 years. Along a secret bend in the Nile, there's a community of black women known as the River Priestesses.
And there are now farmers that are screaming that they may lose their family farms because we have over $500 million worth of food that is sitting and not going anywhere because of the attempt to shut down USAID.
And just in case you think she was engaging in hyperbole,
I've had a number of farmers reach out to me saying, why are we not talking more about this? Because they've been impacted and they expect to be impacted even more. If you don't know Elon Musk, he more or less dismantled the USAID program with President Trump's blessing. He gutted the system down from 10,000 workers to about 300. He helped with things like providing food supplies. And so you have farmers here in the US providing those grains, providing wheat, providing lentils, providing all of these different resources that can later be sent around the world. The US government pays farmers here in the US to provide the wheat, lentils, all of this stuff that we send overseas.
So let me tell you, that is the big difference between the two of them. And let me also tell you that a big difference between Democrats and Republicans is that we don't just say we believe in the Constitution, but we walk it like we talk it. What does that mean? That means
walk it like I talk it.
Walk it like we talk it. Walk it like we talk it. Walk it like we talk it.
I mean, a dance in Congress.
Walk it like we talking.
You got it. Well, don't say walk it like I talk it then if you don't want me to dance.
Walk it like you talk it. Walk it like you talk it.
If we believe in the Constitution, we don't just pick out the Second Amendment and say that it is limitless, nor do we
I'm
pick out the
African American. I'm
The thing about the Constitution is that it has always been a balancing test. There are limits to this. And right now, what we continue to hear from a certain side of the aisle is that there are
you
no limits
English
to
or
this
Spanish?
lawlessness. In fact, there are limits. And
It's
I can
in
tell you
Spanish.
that one of those
Okay.
limits typically is around
That
hate
Joe
crimes.
and
You
Joan.
may or may not know that when it
Psych,
comes down to it,
Psych,
if somebody
and
decides
Joan.
they
Hi.
want to send something hateful in, say, the U.S. mail, they can actually go to prison for that, up to 5 years in prison. So, yes, there are always going to be limits. So, when we start to talk about Trump and him being pulled down on any platform, happened to be after he incited an insurrection. This just happened to be after, in a bipartisan way, this particular chamber decided that they were going to impeach him. So there was something a little different about what he did, because as we know, it led to people actually dying.
You gotta love the 180s that we see all over the right wing these days. I mean, I thought that Fox News banning Trump and then turning around and going all in to promote his reelection was going to be the worst 180 that I saw in my lifetime. But I mean, look at y'all. But it was the biggest 180 I've seen since LiAngelo Ball. The career and the relationship.
But let's talk about who's doing the nefarious things with the tech giants.
Y'all know who she is, y'all?
Because I don't think
Right
that
now, she's our hero in Congress.
promoting truth, but sometimes it may seem a little treasonous.
She
Her
brought
and
a
a
prop.
couple more young
She
sisters.
brought a prop. She went.
She be
She
talking
went
her
down the
talk.
street and went and got that
She
maid.
be doing her.
They had somebody
She be
design
coming
that,
for
and
them.
they went and got that maid just so she could bring a prop out. You better find an exit. Yeah, because that ain't going nowhere good. That ain't going. I done told you when they bring receipts, it's not going anywhere good. When they bring props of receipts, oh, it's over.
All right, so we've got this article right here about this guy. Meta says it will end its fact-checking program on social media posts. I'll talk about that a little bit later. Then we have Washington Post says it will not endorse a candidate for president. We also know that actually they absolutely
I know y'all on YouTube.
endorse
Y'all need to go
Kamala Harris. We have this one. Google
and look at
vote for
the
America
people that's
instead of vote for
protesting and
Mexico.
the
Perhaps we should choose the
communists.
United States, which is a completely
Jasmine
absurd because
Crockett.
the Gulf of Mexico it always
She's
has
a
been.
Congress
We know that the AP
from
got
Texas.
kicked out yesterday
It's a whole
because
lot of
they
different Congress. They're trying to fight for our rights.
lie, because that's all y'all really want to promote is lies. That's the big issue that we have.
I know they probably on other stuff like YouTube. Well, I'm on YouTube,
They want to call the left
probably
no
on
place.
Instagram
They
and stuff
advocate
like
for free
that.
speech.
But I'm on YouTube. This one and Facebook is the only one I mess with. I used to have Instagram. I'm not on that no more.
From the Gaza promises.
And I'm trying to be a YouTuber, but sometimes I get it up, and sometimes I come back on.
This aerospace engineer
And I'm a
just figured out
YouTuber.
how to heat homes for practically zero cost, and it's already making standard heaters obsolete. A report on energy use from just last year showed that electric baseboard heaters can raise your monthly energy bills by up to 40%.
Elon Musk boosted false USA
My YouTube is
theories to shut down
Deborah
global aid. Now, while he was boosting those
531.
lies about USAID,
Capital
he was
D
stopping
E,
money going for,
capital
say,
D.
things
That's
such
it, and
as Head
lowercase
Start.
E
Somehow,
B
those
R
things
A
that didn't stop him funding him
531.
and his organization. Now, I don't know how you can have him be the watchdog as well as the guy that is literally living
But
off
you
of
go on
the
YouTube,
government.
you
If
see
you
a
want
whole
to
lot
talk
of stuff
about
with her.
government welfare, it looks like
And
Elon
Rowan
Musk
Martin, you look at Rowan Martin and him. He's funny
Wedlock for
when he
something
talk
that
about
is
stuff.
totally fine for people with wealth to do, but they denounce from working class America receiving money from the government.
Reese
Oh,
Waters,
yeah.
that's his
We
name.
see you, Elon Musk.
That's Reese. I
You
like
know,
him how he talk
neighbor.
about
Elon Musk
stuff that's going on.
is basically my cousin Tony.
He do a little comment in it.
because it's my understanding that just on yesterday, a new contract was approved for approximately $300 million for Elon Musk. So listen, I just want y'all to be honest. You want to sit here, you want to lie, because so often we hear, well, yeah, we did lie. In fact, he admitted that he lied when he was in the Oval Office yesterday. But if it's a lie that will get you into office, such as saying, I know nothing about Project 2025, yet on day one, you literally do everything that you can to implement it, including making sure that you put, say, one of the main architects of Project 2025 over the OMB, it's okay, so long
They got
as
everybody
you get
protesting
the powers
everywhere.
that you seek.
And I'm going to go ahead and
They protesting
reject
near the White House,
anybody's
Washington.
notion that
L.A.,
about Project 2025,
Texas,
or
everywhere.
they somehow were
California,
unaware of
it's
his
California.
connection to Project 2025 when he was surrounded by people directly connected to Project 2025. So no,
This is
you don't
crazy.
get that one. I mean, that would be like me saying, I got nothing to do with my men's basketball team getting to the Rec League Championship.
Hmm.
I actually didn't have anything to do with that.
The problem is that the game is going to be on the American people. And when I say the American people, I
I'm
mean
getting
all
tired.
of us. Unfortunately, I am also stuck in the twilight zone because of the lies that were allowed to be propagated. Just like when you're talking about vaccines and all this nonsense. Right now in my state of Texas, there is an outbreak of measles. And what they are finding is that because there's been so much disinformation about vaccines, that kids are sick right now with measles that they did not have to have if they just trusted doctors and
Y'all know about
experts
that?
instead of randoms
That
online.
measles going
Yeah,
around?
that's going to be a problem when you basically have randoms online in charge of the doctors and experts. Yeah, I'm looking at you, RFK, the guy who sat there and lectured black people about how to overcome racism.
I remember crosses being burned when I was a kid against an anti-Catholic president. A lot of other, I was called a Mick, a mackerel snatcher.
Sound like
all
he's
those
sick.
kinds
He
of
can't
things
hardly
had no
talk.
impact on me.
What the hell?
That's the kind of resilience that we want to give the black American children so that they have so much confidence in their own future that when they do encounter the inevitable race,
I don't know who that
bounce off,
black for
they'll
Kennedy.
be, like the
Those
Avengers, they'll be immune to
mega black
And then turned
fuckers.
around in an interview and talked about
Excuse my
black
language.
children being taken away from their homes and
You gotta make it
reparented.
black and white. I don't understand that. Now y'all feeling the pain of what he doing to y'all.
All right, so you guys
Uh-huh.
keep asking about this new credit trick that erases negative marks and shoots your scores into the 700s. So here it is.
To be fair, we can see why he would advocate for something like reparenting, seeing as how his entire family has disowned him.
So I will end by
I mean, the
saying
Kennedy.
this, Mr. Chairman, because I know we believe in Jesus in this chamber. In John 8:32, it says, "The truth shall set
Set
you
you
free."
free.
So maybe we should
The
focus
truth
on
will set
a
you
little
free.
bit of truth in this chamber.
I like that you went with the Bible verse. You know who really could use Jesus right now? Marjorie Taylor Greene. Yeah, she could use Jesus with a
That's
dash of
another.
Jasmine Crockett. That's
I don't want to say that.
We've
B.
had a number of these hearings, so I do want to be clear. Before the Trump administration came
I
in,
ain't better hold this too long. My arm hold
did
hurt.
exist in the
My
form of the oversight
octopus
committee, and our task is to
leg
root
that I
out
put my phone stuff on
waste,
it broke.
fraud, and abuse.
I'm
In
right
that
here
vein,
holding it.
we had a number of hearings, at least
I said, I'm do
last term. I
another
can't
going
say
live.
this
They
term
about
as
to
I'm
see
on
one of these
out full term,
videos.
and we dealt with
And I came
improper
across her.
payments. And interestingly enough,
She's
our
like a
chairwoman, who was so
superwoman
passionate
to
about
everybody
this
right now.
today, she missed every single one of those improper payment hearings.
Hey, Marge. Hey, get Marjorie Taylor Greene. Hey, what's she buying toy space lasers? Hey, Marge. She talking about you. Yeah, she talking about, just so you, she talking about you. Yeah. All those meetings that you missed when you was with Zangief and them. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But just to be clear, I was there, so I don't want anyone to believe that Democrats just come to work and don't plan to do work. In fact, I'm trying to figure out exactly what it is that the Republicans believe our job is, because right now they have relinquished their constitutional duties over to an unelected bureaucrat, someone who no one went out to vote for. And absolutely, he is occupying the Oval Office, as we saw yesterday, and that is a first for me to see someone occupying the Oval Office who's never actually been elected to the Oval Office and actually answering more questions than the person that allegedly got elected.
Beautiful use of allegedly there, Jasmine Crockett. Phenomenal. And by the way, I've seen a lot of really good takes on Elon Musk holding court in the Oval Office, but I believe my favorite actually came from Andrewski, who we heard from earlier.
Well, well,
Mm.
you know, I don't like to brag, but for years now, I have been calling Donnie Jar Jar Trump over here a flaccid, trembling, overripe socialite. A man with both the hands and disposition of a toddler. A guy who can barely stand up, much less stand up for himself. And yet, never in my wildest dreams did I imagine that he would drag his cuck chair directly into the Oval goddamn office. You understand how bad it must feel to get out-alphaed by a dude dressed like an 8th grader who just saw The Matrix for the first time? Tony Stark over here is a pair of fingerless gloves away from not being allowed into a movie theater or a mall. And you just know he tips that hat at women and calls them milady. Republicans, this is your man. This is your hero, the man you were all calling daddy, the guy just sitting there and taking it while Captain Ketamine goes full worm tongue in front of the entire nation.
But for whatever reason, this is the first time we're having a Doge subcommittee hearing, and that guy's not here. Instead, we have y'all. So I do want to thank you for coming. But I will say this. It's also interesting to me that in the first few days of Doge existing, we know that they are trying to get rid of the Department of Education, USAID, Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. They're laying off FAA workers. They are going after the FDA, the CDC, the HHS, the FBI agents, and they're talking about getting rid of FEMA. And they brought y'all in. And I am going to say that I actually was shocked that there was only one person that seemed like he was an overt Trumper as you laid out your opening remarks, because I anticipated that at least one of y'all would say, yes, what Elon is doing is exactly what we would prescribe. But instead, I will applaud you because you actually were focused. You talked about what the American people are looking for us to do. We've actually consistently on this side of the aisle promoted this idea of making investments into technology so that we can do things such as, say, look at the Department of Defense. The Department of Defense that takes up approximately 50% of our discretionary income or our discretionary spending. Approximately 50% goes to Department of Defense. Department of Defense has not been able to pass an audit in the last 6 audits, and we're not talking about pennies. I understand that we want everything to be perfect, and if we could get all waste, fraud, and abuse out, that would be fantastic. But let me talk about the big numbers. The big numbers are on that side. When we look at, say, our entire workforce, our federal workforce, as we're trying to somehow fire all of them, they don't even make up a total of 5%. It's even less than that when we look at our budget. But let's talk about defense. That just happens to be the same side of the ledger that Mr. Musk gets the vast majority of his money from.
So let's just absorb what she's putting out. And this is something that I've commented on before here on this platform, but the idea that we're going after waste, fraud, and abuse, and we're consistently attacking these minuscule line items in our budget and ignoring defense. It becomes a little hard to take your efforts seriously, and even more so when you have significant contracts on
Trying to see what the people
that
say.
side. Hey, QAnon! Q! Y'all saw it? Y'all still talking about laptops?
At the same time that they were unlawfully, and we will stay in court, because on this side, we believe in law and order. We believe in, a number of us are actually lawyers, but nevertheless, we understand the Constitution. We believe in that as well. And so there's things such as, impoundment, right? Because as Mr. Whitson said, he said, we need to return the power of the purse to Congress. It never left. According to the Constitution, that's where it's at. Now, I know that people are confused right now because for whatever reason, we had a guy that went in, and you talk about people invading our data. Listen, people said that they were upset about TikTok, but I'm upset about the guy that runs Twitter, who for sure is doing nefarious things, because I don't understand, if you were trying to conduct audits and figure out where the waste, fraud, and abuse is, I don't know why you would go to some tech guy. In fact, it was only techies that were sitting there at inauguration. We didn't have auditors. I would welcome auditors to come in and do forensic audits. In fact, he sat there in the Oval Office yesterday and he admitted that he was lying and he was using his propaganda machine to do it when he said that we sent millions of dollars to Gaza for condoms. That was a lie. So let me tell you something.
The gentlelady's time has expired. The gentlelady's time has expired.
Rein in this rogue actor known
The gentlelady's time.
Oh, God.
Now, let me first mention
Trying to
that
shorten the time up.
it's going to be an endless source of amusement having Marjorie Taylor Greene refer to Jasmine Crockett as the gentle lady. I'm going to enjoy that. I'm going to enjoy Jasmine Crockett on dope.
And people
Just
talking.
in case you happen to have missed what she's referring to, where Elon Musk admitted to nonsense from the Oval Office.
Mr. Musk, you said on X that an example of the fraud that you have cited was $50 million of condoms. Was
For real, he's in the Oval Office with his son.
After fact check this, apparently
And I heard he told Trump to shut up. Oh, what kind of crap that? A little boy telling the press well, to shut up. We didn't have all this. Obama and Biden didn't have all these people that they ain't supposed to be in the office. Stuff they doing is crazy. What they saying? What the people saying? This was a while ago, a couple of days ago, a day or two ago.
That we're going after waste, fraud, and abuse, but yet we have adolescent
Boycott, y'all. Don't buy no more Teslas
are running
or anything that owned by
and probably Social
Musk.
Security by now. That's who you
Who own those damn trucks and those robots.
not people whose actual expertise would be finding and rooting out
Boycott.
waste, fraud,
I mean,
and abuse.
boycott.
The
I
kinds
was.
of people that would be
It's the only way I could boycott. 'Cause I can't hardly walk or
downloading,
nothing.
changing
I
code,
try it once in a while.
things
This
of that nature,
they be
deleting,
going live on
yeah.
people like them.
Yeah. That don't
I
really
was looking
seem
at
like you would
protests. I
go
should
waste, fraud, and abuse to me.
went live on the
You know,
protesters.
that's not who I would bring. Yeah, I was brought in from the city. Yeah, we just came in to do an extermination. So, you know, I got my team of thieves with me. We just gonna come in and
He's funny. I like looking at him
check
too.
out the place for, you know, roaches and rodents and things of that nature. Hey, bring all them bags. Yeah, bring all them bags. And then she also mentioned the hysteria about TikTok and the safety of our data, but yet we hear nary a peep about what's happening with the data that Elon Musk has gained access to.
Ain't that some
Which
shit?
is absurd.
They took our
Now,
data.
this is every bit
What the hell?
the anger and the fury that I would expect to see.
Let that be a African American be in the office and do all this. They be trying to come in there and raid us and kill us and lock us up if we do stuff like
We
this.
have a fully castrated GOP, so we cannot count on them to even approach the oath of office that they took to sit behind those desks on Capitol Hill. And apparently their constituents, up till now, are fine with that. So, Democrats, you're up.
Yeah, where you at, Democrats? Help her out. Help Crocker out. Jasmine out.
A whole hell of a lot better than you handle it the last
Come on, y'all. Come on, Democrats.
Did you know that you can have permanent teeth in just 24 hours? That's right. Only
See what they're
24
writing.
hours and your new smile is ready. And with affordable payment options, achieving your dream smile has never been easier. Forget waiting months with temporary teeth or those insanely uncomfortable dentures.
I'm going to tell you like my daddy told me. I don't know if you can fight, but you better learn how to act like it. Hey, good people, can you believe that we are closing fast on 2,000 members? I know, and we just celebrated 1,000 like a week ago.
Congrats,
It turns out
Luis.
They really like my internal monologues.
I'm trying to get to 1,000. I think I'm 400 and something subscribers.
Well, if you would like to join, there is a link to membership in the description to all of my videos. And of course, we'll have celebrations when we hit 2K and other members only lives coming up soon. So make sure you turn on your notifications and be on the lookout for those. Speaking of growth, I was blown away when I went to my second channel, Way of Waters, and saw how many of you guys have found your way over to my other channel where I am now posting content. I do want to say I greatly appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. And by the way, Way of Waters is kind of where I look for healthier ways to deal with our world than the jokes and yelling that I do over on this particular channel. That literally is the point. That literally is the point. Do you even, y'all, who edited this? And while we're on the topic of jokes and yelling, if you want to find out about all things Reese Waters, make sure you sign up for my newsletter, which you can do at my website, reesewaters.com, or you can send me an email at admin@reesewaters.com. And if I haven't said it recently, I need you to know, I really appreciate you.
And I will see y'all later. I'll probably be back sometime later on tonight. Y'all take care. Be safe out there, 'cause it's crazy right now.